Good afternoon. My name is Master Warrant Officer Davis, and I'm going to show you how to polish your boots. So, for Army cadets, we have two different types of boots. You have your shiny parade boots, on which you will usually wear on special occasions such as Remembrance Day or CO's Parade or your annual ceremonial review. Here, you have your field training boots. These are worn outside, so these aren't polished as much as these ones should be. So, let's begin with these. When you're going to start polishing your FTU boots, it's very difficult just to get in this lace area here. So what you want to do is you want to pull your laces out, and if you're not sure how they go back in, I recommend taking a picture of how they looked before you took them out of your boot. So we're just going to unlace this really quickly. And as you see on the table here, I have some paper towel. That is to stop polish from going onto the table, because polish will stain almost anything it touches. However, there is some ways that you can get it off. Just going to take the laces all the way out here. It's going to make this much easier. And what you're going to want is a nice little brush here and some black boot polish. Make sure you are using black and not any other type of boot polish, because these are black boots. You don't want it to turn to a different color. You're just going to rub the brush into the polish container. You're going to rub the polish onto the boot, like so. You can stick your hand inside the boot to get a better hold on it. This will just blacken the boot, and as long as there is nothing like dirt or anything on it, then it should look pretty nice afterwards. If there is a lot of dirt or mud, if you came back from field training exercise, I would recommend taking a piece of paper towel and just quickly rubbing it off before you begin blackening your boot. Now that we started that one, I will do this one afterwards. Now we will move on to the parade boots. These ones require a little bit more care. And for this one, you will require a thing of black shoe polish. I recommend Kiwi or Money's Worth and Best brand, but most brands will work. So you will need your polish. You'll need a polishing cloth. This is a Kiwi polishing cloth. I really like them. You might need a brush. If you have not polished your boots before and they're new from the store, you will have to do what is called stripping, which I will show you in a later video, but involves hot water and scrubbing off a layer of wax. You will also need a toothbrush. Please don't use the toothbrush that you use for your teeth. If you don't have a spare one that you can just use strictly for polish, then I recommend going to the dollar store. You don't need a super expensive one. Any toothbrush will work. And if you use polish on it, please don't brush your teeth with it. So let's start with the toothbrush. Around the edge of the boot, all the way around, should be this little rope looking thing here. You're going to take the brush and brush it all along the sides just to blacken it up, because sometimes, most of the time, dirt will get in there and it will take off any polish. This part of the boot is called the catwalk, because it is what the cats walk on. You're just going to brush all the way around. If you run out of polish, you can just put a little more on the brush. Perfect. Okay, next what we're going to do, after you are done brushing your catwalks, we will move to the main part of polishing the boot. So you will need to take out your polishing cloth. And I have a separate tray of polish for brushes and one for boots. You can use the same, does not matter. It's all going onto the boot anyways. If you have not put any polish on your boot before, I recommend taking a brush, putting a bit of polish on it, just brushing over the toe and the sides, just to get a nice thick coat on, because the polish also serves as a protective layer for the leather on the boot. So there's two ways to do this. Some people use water, some people use spit. I personally use spit, but what you can do with your lid is fill a little bit of water in it and put one finger, usually your pointer finger, into the cloth. Sticks out like that. Nice clean part of the cloth. Just going to rub a tiny little bit of polish onto it, and going to stick your hand to the boot, keep it sturdy, spit onto the boot, or apply water to this, and you're going to, in tiny little circles, you're going to gently go all the way around the toe of the boot, going swiftly in small little circles. It will look like it's making the boot less shiny at first, but then after a while of doing this, you will start to realize that it begins to shine once more. If it doesn't, or if you put too much polish on, which I may have accidentally did, no big deal. It happens. You just reapply a little bit more water. If you put too much water on, then you're going to have to use a different part of the cloth. Just going to go in circles. And you may notice that I breathe on my boot. That's another way of just putting water on it. Just condensation from your breath goes onto the boot, acts as water. Just breathe on. There we are. You're getting a nice little shine here. And you want to make sure that you polish your boots often enough. Obviously, you won't have a CO's parade or a special event every single day of the week. However, you will need to keep up with polishing your boots. So I recommend for parade boots, at least once a week. You can do it more if you like. You could do it every day if you have the time, but minimum of once a week will absolutely take care of your boots. Looks like we're almost done here. Yeah, getting a nice shine. And if it is your first time polishing your boots, it may not be super shiny. That is because you are just developing a couple of coats of polish on it. But it will look better than nothing. Trust me. And then, once you have a nice shine on here, you'll be able to brag to every other cadet that you have shinier boots. There we are. Just give a little up. Another layer on top here. Nice and shiny. Probably going to do it a couple of more times, make it look shinier. We'll do the same with the other side. Now for the rest of the boot, you have only polished so far the catwalks and the toe of the boot. But for the other spaces like this, it's the exact same thing. Put your finger in the cloth, put a little bit of polish on, and usually the boot is divided into sections here by the stitching. So I like to go section by section by section. You can do it however you like, but I find that this little bit of polish covers just one of these sections just fine. And if you try and do all three, you'll probably run out of polish. So, just going to start at the back here. Small little circles. Like so. I find this part to be a little easier to polish. And then you're done. Obviously, I didn't do the full half of the other boot, but you can do that with both. And for aftercare, you can take your polish cloth, fold it in half, and gently place it over the toe of your boots. That will stop dust from getting on it, and it will protect it from getting any sort of dirt in it. That way you don't have to polish it and clean it as hard the next time. So, thank you for watching, and good luck polishing your boots.